Greetings my lovelies, and thank you for stopping by the circle today. It's a brand new year. A lot of crazy stuff is already happening in my world. Trust me, it's all positive, but make sure you sit around to the end of the video to find out what it is. So one of the things that I love most about storytelling, whether it's visual or in words or with graphics, is the changes that it goes through as society changes itself. Because in all honesty, if your storytelling doesn't evolve with the times, it's gonna end up dying out. So what do I mean by this? Well, recently, probably within the past 5 years or so, we are seeing an increase of not only stronger female characters, but more diverse characters, whether they be POC or LGBTQ+, whatever have you. But we're also seeing changes in the way that masculinity is being presented to the masses. And that is what I want to talk about today, the rise of soft, non-toxic masculinity and how you can adapt your characters to be this. So let's get started. Now, most typically this is referred to as positive masculinity versus what we are used to seeing men portrayed as, which is what we now classify as toxic. Toxic masculinity is really what you would think of, ironically, like the 80s muscle men macho movies. They're big, they're strong, they handle all their problems via violence, and they're very closed off emotionally, like they don't cry, they just suck it up, man up, that type of shit. Well, not only is that not an accurate portrayal of a real human being, it is very one-dimensional, psychology-wise, that is not healthy. Men are human beings, they are creatures, just like females and everyone else in the world. They are going to have emotions, and when men have been taught to suppress their emotions, that means that they don't know how to handle it. And that's what leads to a lot of aggression, depression, and suicide. So the one thing that I love most is what I'm seeing is a lot of these more gentler men are being portrayed in a positive, non-feminine, derogatory manner. So what do I mean by that? So these are men who, while they may still be physically strong, also have a more vulnerable side that they are not afraid to share. They tend to try to solve the problems via communication, empathy, all what have you, before they resort to violence. Violence is typically their last resort. So basically they are the I'm not gonna start a fight type of people, but I can sure as shit finish it. These men are also caring, nurturing, supportive. They're not afraid to tell the people around them how they feel. Whether it's in a direct action of words or in being there for them emotionally and physically, and caring about the emotional needs of those around them. So here are just 6 examples that I can pull that to me really do encapsulate that positive masculinity traits. We have Aragorn from the Lord of the Rings series. Now, while this man can definitely wield a fucking sword like there's no tomorrow and he's the rightful king of Gondor, he is also so very kind. All I need to really say is look at the horse scene and just how he is with Arwen. God, that man is so soft-spoken. I love him to death. He is physically strong. He has a lot of traits that typically are categorized as masculine. However, he's not afraid to be gentle with the woman that he loves and with his friends. Next up, we have the quintessential Mr. Rogers. I love Mr. Rogers as a kid. I still love him as an adult. You know, he is soft-spoken, he's gentle, he's non-threatening. And all he wants to do is help to make a world a better place by teaching people how to be kind and empathetic. And to understand that it is okay to feel our emotions, but it is not okay for us to lash out and hurt other people. And of course, I can't talk about Mr. Rogers without talking about the man himself, Bob Ross. Come on, happy little trees and everything. I mean, this man just wanted to help the world create more art. to find a way to express themselves. And there are no mistakes in life. They're just opportunities to go in a different avenue. God, we really do need some more Bob Ross and Mr. Rogers in our life, don't we? A little bit more currently, we have Hagrid from the Harry Potter series. Here's a big man, a big, burly, scary man, and don't quote me, but I do believe that J.K. says she got the inspiration from him because of this big, burly biker guy that she was afraid of, but he was talking about his flower garden and it just stuck with her. However, whether that story is true or not, I really don't care. I love Hagrid. He's a big, scary man who could just as easily have been stomping around Hogwarts carrying an axe, but he has such a strong maternal side. He not only cares for the animals in Hogwarts, even the animals that most people would shy away from, he also takes care of the main trio and serves as a pseudo-father figure for Harry, Ron, and Hermione. I mean, this man has a lot of love to give, and he believes that everyone deserves to have love and affection, no matter what their background is, or what they look like, or how society perceives them. We are all equal and deserving of love. And yet he can still whoop your ass if he needs to. Next up, we have Karen from the Percy Jackson series. And just generalize the mythology as well, but I'm kind of going for the iterations of the book series. You know, this is the man who trains warriors. He is skilled in the art of combat. And yet, at least in these books, he takes a very different approach to his education. He's not a drill sergeant or a drill instructor or anything of that nature. He values the connections that he has with his students. He feels for them keenly, their problems, their successes, their failures, and he mourns every single hero that he loses. But he is less of a warrior in this iteration and more of the retired soldier scholar aspect. He knows warfare, but he has shifted away from the actual fighting to go into a more theological discussion, wondering the whys and the deeper meanings of the universe. And for our newest iteration is Kirishima from the My Hero Academia franchise manga series. I love Kirishima, I really, really do. He is such a little spiky ball of sunshine, and everything he does is under the guise of being manly and chivalrous and being a true hero. He is dedicated to becoming a hero. He can fight, but he's also not afraid to sort of talk about his own weaknesses. He understands them, but instead of like using that to lash out at other people, like Bakugo maybe, he uses that as an opportunity to try and solve it. How can I turn my weaknesses into a strength? And my weaknesses doesn't necessarily mean that I'm weak or any lesser of a hero. I just have my own strengths. He is hella supportive of all of his friends, and he tends to bring out the best side of everybody, especially Bakugo, just by being his sunny self. He doesn't let other people get him down. He works constantly, and like I said, he's a fighter, but he has a lot of these like kinder, bubbly himbo personalities. So those are just some like small examples that really, when I think of a positive masculine image, pop into my mind right out the get-go. So how can we take these characteristics of positive masculinity and use them to help flesh out your male characters or male presenting characters to have them be more well-rounded and not continuing this trope of toxic masculinity of where we cannot express our emotions or be gentle and still smash your butt. So let's get on with that. So one way you can do this is by having your characters try to solve their conflicts without immediately going to fighting first. So think of it more of like a diplomat, sort of like T'Challa and his father. His father was trying to negotiate a greater sense of peace instead of just going out and beating everybody up like he can. Another good example of this would be Hiccup from the How to Train Your Dragon franchise, especially in the second one. So he's presented with a man who is angry and aggressive, and he still, even when he knows that his words may not reach him, he still extends the olive branch one more time of, please, we don't have to do this. There is another way. There's a better way. Come join me. And of course, when that last effort is turned away and he has no other option, then he fights. Another really easy way to help your male characters embrace their softer side is to actually have them tell the people around them that they care. I mean, seriously, have a father actually say that he loves his kids. He doesn't have to be overly affectionate and hugging and kissing, although that is perfectly fine. But no one around them should wonder if they actually care. Now, granted, if it's like a love interest situation and he's a little unsure of telling this person that he cares for them because he may be rejected, that's fine in the sense of storytelling, but at least let us know as like the reader that he really, truly, and deeply is passionate about this person and loves them and wants to tell them, but they are afraid of rejection. Like the great Aretha Franklin says, respect. It is not that hard to be respectful, and you're not a stronger person for being disrespectful of other people's opinions, feelings, and anything else of that nature. It takes nothing to not be a dick. It really doesn't. Perfect example of when Thor is in the diner in Thor 1 and he smashes the drink in the glass when he wants another one, and they say, no, 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 that's bad. And he goes, whoops, my bad. He doesn't argue. He goes, oh, sorry, I did a social faux pas. I won't do it again. There's even a cut scene of where he replaces the cup of the diner and apologizes to the owner and asks if he's able to come back. One, they should have put that in there because that is just wonderful character development for Thor, but that is a perfect example of soft, positive masculinity. He realized he made a mistake, he went out of his way to make amends, and he was trying to be respectful to not only his new friends, but to the owner of the establishment. I'm so sick of hearing, well, this is how I've always been, so you just gotta deal with it. Nah, like I said, it doesn't take much energy to not be a dick. You are not the sole being of the universe that everyone has to revolve around. Our next step is have them be empathetic. This kind of piggybacks off of the whole respectful thing, because we have to be respectful of other people's emotions and feelings, and one way to do that is to actually have empathy for other people. A perfect example is many arguments, at least that I've had with my spouse sometimes, is he'll say something that he doesn't mean to hurt me with, but it does hurt my feelings. And he's like, I didn't mean it that way. And I'm like, I understand, but you don't get to control how your words make me feel. You may not have intended to hurt my feelings, but you did. And so I'm going to ask you to not do that again. And typically when that happens, he goes, I'm sorry, and I won't. And he tries to make a conscious effort to not do that again. Vice versa, sometimes I say things that hurt his feelings and I don't mean to, but I apologize because I can understand what it means to have someone say something that hurts you. And again, it is not that hard to not be a dick. So having a character who can understand not only how other people are feeling in a situation, but also understand how their actions may have a negative effect on other people and they try to change that, goes like miles into the right direction of making them a more likable character or more well-rounded character, and we can finally get rid of these meatheads that don't seem to give a flying fuck about anybody else but themselves. That's not sexy, okay? That's just not sexy. That is the fastest way to dry up a woman's ovaries, I'm just telling you. And my last piece of advice, which to me is another big crux, please, for the love of God, let them admit when they're wrong. We're human beings. We make mistakes. We fuck shit up. We go off on the wrong tangent and just, mess everything up. Have them say, my bad, that is not what I intended to do. I will not do that again. How can I fix this? Again, just like my example with Thor and even with my own husband. Having a character flat out refuse to admit when he is wrong, again, what purpose does that serve other than to make him a dick? Now, if that's your goal, to make a very unlikable male character, go ahead and use the toxic masculine traits to make that character. But if you're trying to make a likable male character in this time, day and age, in this environment, you're really gonna have to soften some of their edges. So there you have it, just a couple of examples and ways that you can sort of soften your male characters so they don't become giant assholes. If you have any other examples of positive masculinity in literature, be they video games or whatever have you, go ahead and comment down below so we can have this discussion. I would love to have some more examples. And be sure to like and subscribe. I post videos once a week. And I go through a range of topics such as writing help to manga reviews and character dives. And as always, if there's a book that you want me to read or a character that you want me to look into or even a topic that you want me to research for you, go ahead and comment down below and I will get onto it as fast as I can. So, special announcement. My newest book, The Hidden Temple, comes out January the 18th. Holy fuck. Right now is the start of my mini blitz on my other social media platforms. You have seen them scrolling across the screen, but if you missed them, they're also listed down below. So for every like and share, you're entered to win prizes that I will reveal during my release. So what are these prizes? First place winner will receive a signed copy of The Hidden Temple. Our second place winner will receive a stylized framed map of the world. And our third place winner, will receive a stylized framed map of Variance, the capital city of Undra. Given the whole nature of things, I am still going to do this release virtually, so be on the lookout for an invite link. It'll be done here on YouTube, and there'll be more information on that on my other social media sites, so be sure to follow those. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye!